Hello my gorgeous babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for watching today. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a palette ranking of all of my recent palette purchases. I have 20 palettes here, and I thought it would be a good time to film another one of these and kind of give you guys a mini review. A lot of these palettes I have filmed the videos on, like first impressions, and I thought this would be a good time to come back and let you guys know my final thoughts after I've been able to play with the palette some more. So if you guys are interested in seeing some palette rankings and hang out with me for a little bit, then keep on watching. Alright my lovelies, I hope you guys are all doing well and welcome back to my channel. I love having you guys here. I feel very good. I feel very refreshed. I feel relaxed. I went on a mini getaway this past weekend with my boyfriend. It was his birthday weekend. Yep, he is a Taurus, and we went and hung out on the beach on the South Padre Island, and we had a good time. I rented a condo for him. I wanted him to just get away because he works a lot, and you know, life can get stressful sometimes and you just need to get away and relax a little bit. But I hope you guys are getting vacations in. I hope you have summer plans because we all need breaks and vacations, and I know you guys can relate because life is stressful and can get crazy sometimes, and we just need to step away a little bit. But anyways, let's dive into these palettes. I have 20 palettes here, which is a lot. Like, my palette purchases have not reduced, but I am trying to work on that. But I am ready to let you guys know my thoughts. I have tried to film this video so many times, and I keep switching palettes around, but like, no, I want this here, and it was just really hard to rank these. Some of these palettes I really love, and half of them I wish I could put like all at the #1 spot, but I had to do this so you guys could see what I really love the most. So let's get into it. So the one that's on the bottom of my ranking, which this is not a bad palette in terms of formula or performance. This is purely based on versatility and color story. This is the Diamond palette from Beaut Cosmetics. This is part of their Gemstone series, and I think it's a good formula in here. Like, it's as good as their usual like Beaut Cosmetics formula. I mean, they make really good palettes, but this right here is just such a blah color story. Like, I feel like they could just have done so many different things when it comes to a diamond themed palette, and they chose to use a white metallic, a silver glitter, like some reddish toned mattes. I don't think they look that red on camera, but in person there's like one pinky one and one kind of pinky brown. I don't know, weird color story, not my favorite. I don't think you could create that many looks with it, so that is why it is where it is on the ranking. The next one, you're gonna notice like all the gemstone ones are at the bottom. Usually the smaller palettes end up getting ranked lower because they're just not as versatile. You can't create that many looks. But here it is. This is the Aquamarine palette from Beaut Cosmetics as well, and I ranked this a little higher because I like the color story better, because I like my blues. But yet again, I feel like they could have done more. I feel like there's so many things they could have done with the Aquamarine palette, and I don't know. I just think it's unfortunate. Like, I feel like I want them to be more creative. Like, all of their gemstones are like that half neutral, half colorful, and I feel like this would have been a great opportunity to make cute little monochromatic, more fun palettes, if you get what I'm saying. Now that takes me to the next one, which is the Amethyst palette, and I like this color story a little more because I feel like you could do a bunch of different looks. Like, you can get more pink or you can get more purple. Now the weird thing about this palette is it's an amethyst themed palette, so it's a purple stone, and you would think that they would put more purples in this. I mean, there's only one real purple shade and the rest are all like magenta and pinky shades. But overall, the quality is still really good. Like, don't get me wrong, the quality is still really nice in those palettes. Then going on to the next one, and this is also a really nice palette. This is from Game Beauty. This is the Fantasy palette, and don't get me wrong, I do like this palette. I was able to create a beautiful little springy look, and I had fun with it. I love the packaging. I love the whole Game Beauty theme and all that, and I thought the color story was really pretty. It's a nice little springy palette. But the thing with this is it's not my favorite formula. The mattes are more on the sheer side. You have to definitely build a lot with these. And the metallics are nice. They're not special metallics, but they're nice metallics. But for a pastel palette and to also have a already sheer formula, it makes it a little harder to work with these pastels. You definitely have to layer and layer and layer. It's possible. You're still able to create a beautiful springy look with this. It's just not my favorite formula. And then we're going on to more little mini palettes. This is the Skuld palette from Oden's Eye Cosmetics, and I think this palette is really pretty, but it is an all shimmer palette. But the shimmers and like metallics in here are stunning. They're special. If you've been wanting to try Oden's Eye like shimmer formula, this is a great palette to get. Now this is more of an accent palette for me. I like to have mattes. I like to have deepening shades, and I feel like I wouldn't reach for this as much because it's an all shimmer palette, and I don't mind pulling in another palette, but I do have Oden's Eye's like bigger palettes, and I would reach for those palettes before I would reach for this because it already has their like metallic formula in there, including their like mattes as well. So that's why it is a little lower, but in terms of like the shimmer formula, phenomenal. It's a beautiful palette. Then the next one is the Oud palette from Oden's Eye Cosmetics, and this is so beautiful. Like, this is a gorgeous green color story, and green is probably my favorite color I like to wear in my eyes. Like, if I could pick one color to wear every day, I would pick green, and green is also my favorite color. So look at that. Gorgeous, stunning, and that's why I ranked it up even higher because I just love this color story. The only thing with this is it's small. I can only really do a green look with this, but it's beautiful greens nonetheless. So if I want to do a green look, I would definitely reach for that palette. Then going on to this one. This is from Beaut Cosmetics. This is the Smitten in Switzerland palette, and this is pretty. It's a more muted color story, but it's still colorful, but on the muted side, if that makes sense. It's just a little bit more muted for my taste. I like super vivid, super bright, super in your face colorful looks, so it's not something I would reach for often, but if I want a more muted look but have it still be colorful, I would definitely reach for this palette. It's a great formula. The travel series from Beaut Cosmetics is amazing. Then going on to a neutral palette, and it's ranked lower because it's neutral, because I like color, but this is the Glamlite Chocolate Donut palette, and this is such a chocolatey, bronzy, just yummy, chocolatey color story. And if I want something that's chocolatey and bronzy, I would reach for this. It's not every day that I'm making a chocolatey, bronzy look, but if I were, I would totally use this. And the highlighter in here is really pretty. Glamlite also has a great formula, and I did do a video on this palette, and most of the palettes I've done videos on, so all relevant videos, I'll link them below. I'll put them in the corner where I can. Another neutral palette that I have in here, this is from Nabla. This is the side by side palette. This is a beautiful neutral palette. Like, if I was gonna go for neutrals, I usually will go on the cool tone route, and I'll go on the smoky side of things. Like, I like a dark, smoky, cool toned look. And this is really pretty. It does have some warm tones, but it's mainly cool and neutral. And it has a black shade, so you can deepen up the look and get super smoky with this. And I thought it was really pretty. I like the looks I've been able to create with this. I can go soft, I can go smoky. And I think Nabla has an amazing eyeshadow formula as well. Then another like neutral but rosy tone, more pink. There's more color in this one, and that's why it's higher up. But this is the, sorry, I forgot to show you the outside. This is the Cherry Pie palette from Glamlite. And this is like a pink rosy palette with a little bit of purple and mauves, and I think it's really pretty. And I just love Glamlite's food themed packaging. It's just so adorable. But I do like this color story, and every now and then when I want to get pinky and mauvey, I will reach for this palette. Then going on to this beast right here. This is from Beaut Cosmetics. This is their Naughty palette. It's a big one, but this is a great big palette. It has a good variety of colors in this one, and normally big palettes tend to have a lot of repetitive shades, but I don't feel like this has a lot of repeat kind of shades. It has a good variation. You can do green looks, you can make red looks, you can do something more neutral, something more purple, but I don't think you can pick this up anymore. I don't think it's on their website, but if it is, highly recommend if you like big palettes and like to have a lot of options. That's a good one. My frizz is in full force, and I did not realize like my brow has been showing this whole time. Like, why am I the way I am? But here we go. So this is the Nomad Cosmetics Tokyo palette, and I love this because I love pastels. I have been playing with pastels so much this spring, but look at that. Isn't that adorable? Like the little imprints, the packaging. And the reason why this is like pretty much middle on the ranking is these shimmers. These shimmers are beautiful. They're really nice and sparkly, and especially this shade right here, Moshi Moshi. I love a good like light green shimmery metallic, but this is a really nice palette. And I like Nomad Cosmetics. I like their whole travel theme. I like most of the things I've tried from them, and this is a really cute palette. I just love it. Then going on, this is from Beaut Cosmetics. This is from their Sweet Shop collection, which is probably the best collection that they have. Like, these shadows are on a next level. I don't know what they did with this formula. This is an all blue palette. And of course, I could only create a blue look with this. Of course, I could bring in other palettes with it. But the formula in this is so good. And it's so hard to formulate a really good blue matte. And all of the blue mattes in here are great. All of the blue shimmers are stunning. I've loved all of the Sweet Shop palettes that they come out with. And this is so good. So good. And blue is one of my favorite colors to wear my eyes besides green. Okay, before I get into the next palette, I want to get some of my drink right here. This is a green tea drink. Or like green tea latte, basically. If you love green tea, put a little green tea emoji in the comments below. I am a huge fan of matcha. Matcha is life. It's so good. All right, next one here we got is this from Beaut Cosmetics. I have a lot of Beaut Cosmetics palettes. I've been buying so much from them. They're just so good. But this is the Blueberry Muffin palette, and I like the mix of shades in this. It has variety. So there's blues, there's lighter shades, there's neutrals in here, there's like this tealy shade, and the formula, stunning. You can create a bunch of different looks with this, and I think it's just so beautiful. I'm so happy I picked this one up because I was on the fence. I was going back and forth, and I finally was like, I'm just gonna get it. Like, I've heard so many good things about it. I need to try it, and I am so happy that I did. So now going on to another half blue, half neutral palette. This is the Blueprint palette from Melt, and this is one of Melt's good palettes. Now, Melt is one of those like hit or miss brands. Like, you either get a really bomb ass palette or you get a really shitty palette, and this is one of their bomb ass palettes. I'm telling you, this is so good. This is just really nice. Like, the mattes in here are so pigmented but also blendable. You can just get so deep and intense with the mattes in here, and the metallics are nice and creamy. They're like traditional metallics. They're really nice. I like this combo. I love this Melt palette. Such a fan. So I like this a little more than the Beaut Cosmetics one because of the formula. Going on to another palette, and this is surprisingly a neutral palette, but it's a sexy neutral palette. This is the Dreamy 2 palette from Nabla. If I'm going to reach for a neutral, this is it. This is the palette I'd go for. I can get so sultry and sexy with this palette. I have been so happy with every look I've created with this, and I love it. It's so smoky and deep and scrumptious. I love this metallic right here, this purpley one. I love this deepening shade. I love everything. This is so pretty. And of course, Nabla makes a great formula. I love the packaging. I just love everything about this palette. This is probably one of my most favorite neutral palettes. I have a few in my collection like that are my staple neutrals, and this is going to be part of that group. Now going on to another Beaut Cosmetics palette. This is the Lost in Los Angeles palette, and I swear I have reached for this so much this spring. Like, this has been my staple spring palette. Look at that. It's full of pastels and colors, and it's fun, and I feel like this could also work really well in the summertime, and this was a staple for me. Like, this is so pretty. The pastels are really nice in here. The metallics are really pretty, and this is a palette I just keep reaching for. Like, I have a lot of palettes, so I have a lot of options here, but I want to keep going for this one, and I've created so many looks. I keep picking it up, and that is a sign that a palette is really good and inspiring for me to keep picking it up over and over. Next one I have is the It's Freakin Bats palette, and this is the only smaller palette I have at the top, because if I was going to make my perfect color story palette, this would be it. This is from Shroud Cosmetics, and this was the collaboration with Beaut, and she did such an amazing job. It has these like grungy greens, teals, lavenders, a like deepened blackened purple. Like this is amazing. Definitely my favorite like little curated palette, and every look I've created I've loved, like adored, and I think this is so good. I can see myself using this so much. I can see this being something I pair with other palettes. I can see this as a palette I would travel with, and that's why it's so high up there. Now the formula is good. It's not like my favorite formula, but the mattes are great, the metallics are great, and I still like the formula. It's the color story that really speaks to me the most about this palette. Getting to the last two, so I have this right here, Natasha Denona, which seems to always be a Natasha Denona palette that's at the top. So this is the Circo Local palette. I love how colorful it is. I like that there's deep shades in here. I like the variety, and I like that it's all scrambled about. I know a lot of people didn't like the setup of the color story, but to me, when I look at it, it inspires me to create all these different types of looks, having it scattered like this instead of having it like color coordinated. I feel like there's more inspiration that happens when I see a color story kind of jumbled up. And it has some pastels, it has jewel tones, deep shades, and the formula is absolutely stunning. So that is why this is number 2 on my ranking. And I was going back and forth and putting that number 1, and then I was like, no, this one has to be number 1. And this is from Oden's Eye. This is the Norns eyeshadow palette, and this is probably my perfect like color setup for a bigger palette. It has jewel tones, dual chromes, cool tones, warm tones, deep shades, lighter shades, like this beautiful inner corner shade. And I actually have this palette on my eyes right now. I want you guys to see like how beautiful the metallics are, and the mattes. They're so easy to blend, they're pigmented, and I just have been so impressed with Oden's Eye. Like, their brand overall is really, really good. And like I was saying with the Skuld palette, that's the all shimmer, I wouldn't probably reach for that one as much because I have this one. It has the great shimmer formula in it, and it has some duochromes. Like this has like a pinky shift, and I just love this. When they did the initial release for this and they showed the photo of it, I gasped. Like, I literally lost words when I saw this. I was like, how can a palette be so beautiful? And the packaging also too is really stunning. And I've just had such a great experience with Oden's Eye. They are a Swedish indie brand if you want to check them out. So good. All of their stuff is based on like Nordic mythology, and I also think that's super cool. Alright guys, that was my palette ranking. All 20 palettes have been ranked, and I think this was fun. It was hard to do, but I was able to get through it, and overall I do love all of these palettes. There's not a palette in here that I hate, and there's a lot of palettes in here that I love. But let me know in the comments below, were you surprised by my ranking, or were you like, I knew she was gonna put that there, I knew that was gonna be number 1. I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you are new here and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, and all that fun stuff, please hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to click on that notification bell so you are notified every time I post a video. Also, if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the palettes that I showed today linked below. I will also have any relevant videos on any of these palettes I did, and I will also have my contact information. I am also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. If you guys want to check me out over there as well, I would really, really love that. But that was everything, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you love and light. But until next time, bye guys.